I do not like AI. I don't think that's such a bold statement I'm making right there, but it is something I have been thinking about more lately after I got into a bit of an argument with somebody in my local Discord server for Warhammer. Basically, to sketch the context a little bit, this person had asked ChatGPT to give him some reference material for Slaaneshi, Corrupted Imperial Guard and Knights. ChatGPT didn't want to generate it because of the copyright that comes with that, and he posted that image of ChatGPT telling him that into our Discord, and I commented on that with something along the lines of just use your brain and Google for 5 seconds and you'll find something much better than AI can give you. And from there it was basically like a long argument that went on for like an hour and a half about the usage of AI, which I'm not going to go into again because that's not what this video is about. This video is specifically about why I don't like AI, especially in Warhammer 40k. So the first reason is very simple, and I think the reason where a lot of people don't like AI, and that is the environmental impact. Because let's be honest, AI has a massive environmental impact. The amount of water that one data center uses per day is ridiculous. And you could say, oh, but the food industry also is very bad for the environment. That's true, but we all have to eat. AI is not something we all need to use. And it's not even about hating every type of AI. There are certain cases where I think AI is a very helpful tool. For example, for my job, I need to be in contact daily with Polish truck dealers. I cannot speak Polish. They cannot speak English. So it's very easy for me to just go into DeepL, type in what I want to say to those people, and just send them that via email. For such a case, I think AI is very helpful because I'm not going to study Polish for a summer job. That's basically just a bridge to another job. And second of all, even generative AI can be used well in some cases. For example, I needed to generate a picture that I wanted to use on something from my dad's motorcycle. Only issue is it's kind of a one-of-one motorcycle. It's based on a normal Ducati from the 90s, but he modded it so much you probably can't find a good enough picture from anywhere, and I only had limited resource material that wasn't really usable, but I gave that to ChatGPT. I asked it to generate a specific type of picture, got that, and used it. So when it comes to Gen AI, I maybe use it like once or twice a year, and that's it. My main issue with AI in Warhammer is that it takes away all of the creativity, because for me personally, I've always been a creative person for like 80% of my life. When I was 6 years old, I enrolled in the local music academy where I grew up, and from then until now and probably long into the future, I have been and I will always be a musician. Now, the first couple of years where I played an instrument, which is the saxophone, I didn't really like it because we always have to follow classical music first. But my issue with classical music is that it's very, you just read the page in front of you and you do not deviate from it. And I don't like that. I found that freedom much more in jazz, and I found it much more enjoyable to play jazz, so I switched when I got the chance, because it kind of answered the craving of needing that creativity. Now, I know nobody is 100% creative. It's also something they always say to starting musicians: just listen to music and think specifically about what you like when you're listening to it. For example, my teacher put me on a lot of John Coltrane, probably the best jazz saxophone player there is. That's debatable, of course, but he is one of the best at least. And even now, at a time where I've taken guitar much more seriously, I listen to a lot of rock bands because I just love rock and roll and metal music. So I listen to a lot of Van Halen solos, a lot of Jimmy Page, a lot of Angus Young, a lot of Slash, and those people kind of influence me into how I want to play my music, and I feel that translates very nicely into Warhammer. The first thing a lot of new people are going to do is follow some kind of box art, and then eventually even transition into trying to find some source material online of people doing different things. And I think that is the beauty about a creative process. You go online, you go through books, you listen to music, you gather all these things you like, and then you make something that is your own. For example, my Emperor's Children, I've already told you guys in a previous video, a friend of mine told me, are you going to paint him like the band Kiss? And that kind of sparked the idea of doing that. And then of course I looked at how those guys are dressed. I tried to find multiple sources of people doing a black and silver scheme, and eventually I kind of made my own thing. There is even still a bit of pink in there, even though Kiss doesn't do looping, or not a lot at least. And you see, that's kind of the beauty of a creative process, just gathering all these things and making your own thing. I think with AI, that kind of just gets shoved aside. AI is kind of this tool that always gives you exactly what you ask for, and it does the thinking for you. If I would go and ask AI, oh, can you make a Lord Exultant, but make the paint scheme so it resembles Kiss? It would make something by doing exactly that. It would go online, but much faster, find all the things together and just feed you the image. But that kind of defeats the purpose of creativity, because you're not putting in the work. Your brain is not working at that point. It's off. You're asking an AI to help you with that. And that's kind of my main issue with AI in this space. And it's not even in Warhammer. I really like it when, for example, when I go on TikTok and I see all these custom cards people made for Magic the Gathering. But the amount of times I see AI generated pictures for that right now, it's kind of sad. Because instead of coming up with something yourself, you asked a machine to do it. And you're not really in that creative process. You're not challenging your mind to do something. And that's my main issue with AI. I think as a society we thrive more if our minds can be creative. I think creativity is one of the most important ways to show emotion, which is a very integral part of humanity. So giving that away to a computer is kind of defeating the purpose and kind of dystopian thing, or at least that's what I think about it. If you disagree with anything I have said in this video, make sure to let me know down below in the comments, but do keep it civil. I'm all for discussion, but I always want to keep it civilized. If you enjoyed this, please leave a like, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more. This is probably going to be a little series I start up now, just called Hobby Talks or something like that, where we just talk about stuff that came across my radar in the past week or something, you know, sounds kind of fun to do. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.